Today I will be showing you guys the ultimate guide to progression with weapon. So honestly, there's no more introduction, let's just get right into the video, and if this helps then make sure to like and subscribe. So the first weapon that you guys should all probably get when you first start Skyblock is over here by the Weaponsmith, and you would buy an undead sword from this guy for 100 coins. Then you would make your way over to the what's it called, thing boy in the deep caverns, the miner zombies. Get yourself some good armor for there, yeah. And then you would come over to the auction house, and after you have figured out what you want to go for, you will most likely either buy a silver fang if you're like really broke at the moment, because it does a little bit more damage, or you would buy yourself a raider's axe. I would recommend the raider's axe. I recommend this first because I think this is better for the money instead of a tiny bit more damage in general with the silver fang. And this is it. This weapon has pretty good stats. It's not the best, but it's a good early game weapon to start off with. And the weapon you want to get after that is probably a Fel Sword, because this is good in dungeons and outside of dungeons, so it will probably be your next weapon. Just because of its low requirements, you don't really have to have any requirements really to use it. And if you get enough essence to 5-star it a little bit, I think it costs Wither essence? I'm not sure. Wither or Undead essence? Probably Undead. So the Fel Sword can probably carry you to... Well, not probably. It can definitely carry you to floor 5. And then you would buy yourself a Livid Dagger. And if the Fel Sword can't get you to floor 5, then you can buy yourself a Flower of Truth, because this is probably the best weapon for early game, because 1, it gives you a ton of strength inside and outside the dungeon, and 2, it's kind of cheap for really early game. You just have to do some bazaar flipping for a bit, do some of that clay grind, and then you'll get there eventually. And it has 0 requirements, nothing at all, and it's a really all-round weapon. Since the ability is a heat-seeking rose, it's pretty good. Not really a lot else there for it. Then you would go on for a Livid Dagger, which will grant you that 1-hit melee damage, and the attack speed is very useful during lower floors. And with this, you would probably keep this until you get yourself a Juju Short Bow, which is the next weapon in progression. So a Juju Short Bow, I would recommend you get one that is probably legendary, so recombobulated, so at least 4 stars. So this is pretty good for like an early one that isn't too expensive for early game, that you can still get to move yourself onto mid game. Now the requirements for this is Ender Slayer 3. I got Enderman Slayer level 3 with tier 1s. That took a little bit, but I got it eventually, and it helped a lot because I didn't have to pay for any carries. And before you jump to the biggest Juju non I've ever seen, I need to make this quick disclaimer. You do not need to go for a Juju Short Bow unless you have a half decent like stats. I would say you should probably go for a Juju Short Bow once you reach like combat 30, combat 35, because below that you're going to be doing the same amount of damage with the Livid Dagger, and it's not going to be that much more useful. And you know, you're just going to get bullied for being, you know, because my friend did that, and he's like, you have no experience with the game, but you buy a Juju Short Bow. So I would wait until you have at least a half decent like skill average. So probably skill average like 26, I think, is a reasonable skill average for this weapon. And then after this, after you buy a Juju Short Bow. The next weapon after that is either a Terminator, Hyperion, or Giant Sword. Depends what route you want to go. If you want to go Berserker, then you go Giant Sword, then Valkyrie, and Axe to Shredded, of course. But if you want to go with Archer, then you go Terminator. Bear in mind that does require Enderman Slayer 7. So I would personally go for the Hyperion, which is what I am currently going for, because then that can help you in getting Enderman Slayer 7, which obviously then helps with everything. And oh dear, this guy's macroing. Wow, that is oof. Deadly Spike. I'm sorry, bro. You're gonna get banned, bro. Wait, bruh. Anyway, so yeah, after that, you probably have maxed the game. By the time you have all 3 of those weapons, you pretty much should have maxed the game, and then you would obviously buy the pets, talismans, and everything along the way. So that is pretty much it for all of the weapons. The only weapons that I wouldn't bother buying are the things like Zombie Soldier Cutlass and all those like trash zombie weapons. They just reset everything, lowest price. It's all of these ones, the Soul Stealers, Soul Stealer bows, machine gun bows, you know. All of these junk Dreadlord swords, cutlasses, they're not worth any money. They're also not any good. They're not useful in any way. The only time I would ever buy them is instead of the Silver Fang at the beginning of the game. But that's pretty much it. Everything that I covered in this video is going to hopefully be useful. And if it was, make sure to like and subscribe, because yes, you should. If you don't, then you know, oh well. But gonna miss out there. Some good content coming. But yeah, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Comment down any tips you have, or if I made any mistakes in this video, and I'll make sure to read them. I'll see you guys later.